a pit tag or a micro transponder type thing that, like you say, that you can use on your dogs or cats. We could do the same thing with these birds. Again, it's more expensive, and the leg tags work fine for them to know them. Unless we could have a fixed spot that we knew they were going to fly or get close enough to that it could read that tag, it's really not worth it or practical for these
like
birds.
An easy pass.
Yeah, right. We knew they always migrated at this distance underneath a certain tree or something. We could have a scanner there and let them. That would be really pretty neat.
And just be an app on your phone like you did.
We're doing that a lot with captive wildlife and in rehabilitation settings, and certainly in zoos. They will micro tag like that, do the microchips in them, and that way, in a rehab situation, you can set up a scanner in one part of the cage and have them walk by it, and you know exactly, if you've got 20 raccoons in a cage, you know which one it is. Or if we're doing oil spill response work and you have, 50 loons that are all alike, it's very easy to do a scanner for an ID. But in a situation where they're strictly in the wild, it's not really practical.
Not yet.
Yeah.
They'll be coming soon, right?
Yeah.
That's
and
the
then
thing
they can
with the
send us
technology.
data about their heart rate and all the other good stuff. Yeah. It's amazing, the technology. It's just the money to make it happen.
Right. That'd be great.
We got the good commercial for Duke Farms. We got the commercial for Conserve Wildlife Foundation.
They don't have to work with bags on.
What does the bag contain?
The bag has two hoods for putting over the eaglet's head. It puts them in the dark. It's very calming, and also vet wrap to secure their feet so that they don't hurt themselves or us.
So their talons are pretty strong at this age. They can,
and what they'll do, if you were to just put them in the bag without securing their feet, they could grab their own leg even though there's only one bird in the bag at a time, but it's better that they're secure and then they just lay down.
Thank you.
The other use for the boat hook, you're probably going to see, so he's used it to, move ropes and stuff.
Still working. Sweet.
To herd the birds over.
Make them walk toward us.
Need some treats.
This is probably going to 100 now. And again, 6 weeks old, they're fairly predictable. They're not going anywhere. They don't even have a thought that they can go someplace. Whereas once they get older, they start to have that thought.
This one doesn't? Oh, the one up there. They may have taken it off. I don't know.
photographic documentary. Oh, what? Go back up. You think it's the feed or the phone? Are you still on?
No, I'm not on. I asked her over the chemical.
So, Michael, do you want to talk a little bit about the Bear Swamp?
Sure.
First eagle, last remaining eagle nest in New Jersey.
The Eagles have really made a dramatic comeback since the early 1980s. As I mentioned earlier, we were down to one last nest in Bear Swamp, and it was owned by a mining company. I was a young attorney at the Department of Environmental Protection at the time, and I was put in charge of acquiring the land that the Eagles Nest was located on. And the land was owned by one mining company and leased to another mining company, so we tried a number of things to negotiate a deal, and we were not able to do it. We eventually ended up having to use the power of eminent domain to acquire the nest. And I remember going into court, Superior Court in Bridgeton, in Cumberland County, and the attorney for the mining company challenged whether or not saving the last bald eagle's nest was a proper use, was a public use of eminent domain authority, and they made a motion to dismiss the case. And we asked the judge if we could approach the bench, and we brought with us pictures of the baby bald eagles that we had just banded. And I remember going up to the bench with the Deputy Attorney General and showing him the pictures of these baby bald eagles. And I knew that we were going to win the case when the judge looked at the pictures and he went, "Oh my God, they're so cute." So he said, "Okay, please," I want the attorneys to move back. And he looked at the attorney for the mining company and he said, "So let me get this straight. Your argument is that saving the symbol of our nation's freedom in its last location in New Jersey is not a public use?" And he said, "Yeah, essentially, Your Honor, that's my argument." He said, "Well, not in my court." Bangs his gavel, says, "Case dismissed," and the state got title to the. Here comes the first eagle coming down. I'm really impressed he was able to do that. You know when he goes closer. He got more than one hood and stuff? He does. Okay.
Perfect. Keep the hands like that. A little more around over that.
John, you can narrate this.
So what was that gauze you put around its tongue?
This is a product. I think this is actually Coban. It's just a self-adhesive wrap so that it'll keep the feet from causing any harm to us or the bird. When they kick up with those talons, they could easily snag us or themselves. And so Mick wraps them as they're going in the bag so that they don't grab themselves as they're coming down in the bag. Alright, got that. First thing we're going to do is take this wing from him. You'll put your hand right there on the shoulder. Very good. Alright. He's going to try to wiggle. Yeah, so he's got his once they get the wing behind them, they can turn. So if you can hold that like that, perfect. All right. I'll tell you what, we got somebody else who wants to hold feet. Super. Just put a hand right like that. You don't even have to control the feet, just so that the feet won't kick up. That's good. Okay, babe. Yeah, it's comforting to us, but I'm not sure they know what we're saying or trying to say. So the blood sample is a good sample to have because it, even for healthiness, it can show whatever exposure that eagles might have in the food chain through their food supply to environmental contaminants and heavy metals, pesticides, things like that. So even though DDT and PCBs have been illegal for many years, they're still actually found in the ecosystem, and especially in the aquatic ecosystems where eagles tend to hunt most of the time. So it's a good way of monitoring those contaminants in our environment.
So that blood is going to get shipped off to the lab then?
Well, we actually have quite an archived collection of eagle blood. It is expensive to have a lot of these tests done, so we hold on to some of it. We have some cooperating researchers who are doing some testing for free, including now some DNA testing, which is an interesting research project to look at the genetic heritage of eagles across the country. So we're participating in that as well. But as eagles expand through the state, we have them in more and more waterways, and so eagles can be a really good environmental indicator across the state now, whereas they used to be limited to South Jersey and Delaware Bay. Now we're able to actually compare eagles from North Jersey to South Jersey. So it's a great resource to have. As I said, we're looking at eagles that are successful because they have chicks, and then the other measure we can look at is as they become available, unhatched eggs, because sometimes it is the contaminant issue that causes an egg to not hatch. So that's another way of monitoring contaminants.